Hey friends, on today's episode of Gardening with Creekside, I have an exciting project that I cannot wait to share with you. I've been looking forward to this project for months. We are going to plant up this amazing AquaPot. What is an AquaPot? Stay tuned and I'll tell you. Hello friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside. I am Jenny and today I have a very exciting project that has been months in the making. Here in front of me I have this gorgeous container that is an AquaPot. What is an AquaPot? Well, an AquaPot is a self-watering container that is just a fabulous creation by 3 different people. So first you have Michael Carr. Michael Carr is the artist who has designed this gorgeous ceramic pot. This is a very high quality, thick, sturdy clay pot that was handmade in Vietnam. So he created the pot. Then you have Jack Barnwell. Jack Barnwell is a landscaper in both Michigan and South Florida. And he created this whole self-watering system to give his customers a low-maintenance container that gives them gorgeous flowers all season long with minimal effort on their part. Then you have Proven Winners, who was the one who picked up this fantastic idea and is distributing it countrywide. So what I have here, this is the professional line of an AquaPot. Not all of them are this big. I realize this is a massive pot, but we are here at the nursery in front of the pergola, and so our pergola is pretty big, so we need a large container to really make a great statement. So there are 2 of these that are exactly the same on the front of the pergola, and we're going to plant them up today. So first, let me show you how an AquaPot works. So there is a system inside of here. Now this is massive because this is the professional line. So within this ceramic clay pot, there is a 3-piece system. You have the disc, just the round part. Then you have the soil tube. The soil tube just simply screws into the disc. So there's no gluing, there's no pins, there's no screws. It just simply screws in. Very easy. So the soil will go in here, and there's little slits in this soil tube so that the soil can wick up all this wonderful, delicious water constantly, and it replicates plants in the perfect environment in the ground so they don't dry out, they're not overwatered, they're not underwater. So you have the soil tube, the disc, and then finally you have the fill tube. And the fill tube just simply goes down in that little hole. This is where you stick your hose in to fill your pot up once a week. So these pots are specifically designed to be an AquaPot. So you cannot take this system and apply it to one of your existing containers, because as I always preach to you, your containers must have a drainage hole in the bottom. But with the AquaPot, there is no drainage hole in the bottom. There is a rim inside this container that the disc sits on. The water is going to fill up that whole reservoir underneath that rim. So if you cannot put this into an existing one, because if it has a drainage hole, of course, all your water goes away. There is a little overflow hole in the back of the pot, so that way you don't have to worry about your plants drowning or overfilling it. So that's a great little safety feature. It's already drilled in there. You don't have to worry about it. So let's go ahead and put this thing together and get some soil in here. All right, so when you're planting up your AquaPot, you want to use a really high quality garden soil for your container, because this, remember, your soil is just the lifeblood of this container. So it's very important to start with a high quality soil. Here we have Proven Winners potting soil, and it takes, because this is a professional series, it takes a lot of soil in here. So here we go. Now, when you're putting your soil in, you want to make sure that your soil tube is completely full of soil. And in fact, I'm going to take the soil and push it down into that soil tube, because that's how your container is going to wick up all of your great water. So it's very important that that soil tube is filled completely with soil. So make sure it's in there. I recommend just putting some soil in, getting the soil tube filled up, and then you can go ahead and finish up with the rest of your soil. So you can see I'm using up all of our little bags of soil that we've been using for other pots. Get that in there. Now that we have our container completely full of soil, now when I say completely, I didn't bring it all the way up to the top, because of course we still have to put plants in here. So the next thing that you really need to do to ensure that you have gorgeous blooms all season long is to use a really great high quality fertilizer. I'm going to use Proven Winners slow release fertilizer in here. Now, one of the great little tricks that Jack told us when we were actually at the Southern Spring Show together with Jack this spring. Well, technically I think it was January, February. But what he told us was in this reservoir to go ahead and take some of your slow release fertilizer, and you're going to pour it into your fill tube so that your water reservoir is fertilizer water. How genius is that? So because this is a massive container, I'm going to put 3 scoops in here. So that's going to be in there, and then I'm also, my container's almost empty because we've been using it so much this spring. I'm just going to go ahead and sprinkle the rest into the soil. Now, all the plants that I'm going to put in here are very heavy feeders, so I'm not too worried about over fertilizing, putting too much fertilizer in there, because again, this is a slow release, so you're not going to have that risk of burning your plants. So once the fertilizer is in there, just work it in to the soil really well. All right, now the plants that we're going to use, we're going to go big. Going big here. So the first thing is that we're going to do kind of follow that method of, for a container, we're going to have a thriller, a filler, and then spillers. So for my thriller, we are going to use Proven Winners Vertigo grass. Now, the Vertigo grass is a giant purple fountain grass. This guy can get like 4 to 8 feet tall in a landscape or a large container. You can already see it is a very healthy, happy plant, so it is going to go in the back. Again, like I said, this is a very vigorous grass. I'm sure that the roots on this thing are pretty. Look at this. That is a monster root system. Typically when I plant a container, I don't really feel like I have to break up the root ball, because normally it's just a nice healthy root ball and they'll go and find their own sources of water. Now this is getting a little exceptional, so I am going to break this up. Got to find my clippers. Where are my clippers? There are my clippers. All right, got my clippers. So again, this is not the most technical way to do it, but you know, hey, use what you got. So I got some clippers. So I just have them closed, and you're just going to go in there and you're just going to whack it. You can do this with a razor blade, a utility knife, a little shovel. You can do it all sorts of ways. Like I said, this is what Mama's got. This is what Mama's using. So you're really just going to come in here. You could even take your clippers and snip at the roots, because like I said, this grass is probably one of the most vigorous grasses that Proven Winners makes. Does great in the landscape, has these gorgeous plumes on it. So we're getting in there, just breaking it up, one more little snip, and I think we'll be good to go. All right, those go in the back pocket. Now, so the grass is gonna go in the center of the pot in the back. Now, Jenny's a little, you know, OCD with her pots, so I've got to make sure that it's in the center. So we come around, got to make sure that it's, yep, pretty much in the front of that pole. So I'm happy. If you push down the plant, it'll make an impression, so then you know where to go. Dig out my hole, set it down in there. Now I like to have them a little bit below the lip a little more soil. Because that way it leaves you a little bit of a lip with the pot. You don't have to worry about it, any dirt or soil splooshing out. Check it again. Oh, see, it's off a little bit. I'm gonna scoot it over. Because once this massive AquaPot is planted, it's not getting moved. It's not getting moved anyway because it's just so big. Now, this is our thriller. This is our tall piece that is going to be a really highlight of the container. Next, we're going to go in with a filler, something to kind of fill in the space between the tall grass and then our spillers. So today we're going to use another one of Proven Winners annuals. This is Diamond Mountain. Diamond Mountain is a great euphorbia that was specifically bred to go in a landscape or a large massive container that can really compete with other vigorous growers. So we certainly have vigorous growers. So there's 3 of these, and we're just going to kind of evenly space them around the grass. So we've got one there. One's going to go directly in front of the grass. And I love the euphorbia, the Diamond Mountain. Diamond Frost is kind of the miniature version, the normal size version of the euphorbia. It only gets to be 12 to 18 inches. This Diamond Mountain can get easily 2 to 3 feet, especially in a large container like this or the landscape. I had it last year in a bed and it was absolutely gorgeous. So what will happen is the petunias that we're going to use and this euphorbia, they're going to really intermingle. So the petunia that we're using is Proven Winners. This is the Supertunia Vista Paradise. Again, this particular line, the Vista series of petunias, was specifically bred to go in the landscape. It is their most vigorous spreader, so it will definitely spill over and just be super happy. Now, it is the middle of May here in North Carolina. These petunias are getting a little long and getting a little leggy. At this point, for me, they're a little long and leggy, but I'm okay with that for right now in this container. If you wanted to snip them back, you could just take your clippers, snip them back, and then they'll get nice and thick and bushy and then spill over. I did another pot about a week ago, the sister pot to this one, and they're already getting nice and thick and full. So I'm just gonna leave this alone so that way we don't lose our blooms right away. So again, this is going to go, I've got 3 of them. They're going to go in here, and look at that root system. Very vigorous. So with this, I don't need to take the clippers. I just get my fingers and kind of break it up just a little bit. Again, you don't have to do this because it's not crazy root bound, but it's not going to hurt to do it either. So we're going to stick that in here. So I've got 3. So I'm going to put 1 on the corner here. Then I'm going to intermingle in here 2 of the Proven Winners black sweet potato vine. I thought this would be a nice addition. It's going to mirror the darkness of the Vertigo grass, gives a different texture, has a nice fat leaf on it, and again, it'll be a great spiller and it will spill over. So we're just going to alternate the Supertunias with the black sweet potato vine. We're going to stick her in here. Now, you know, I told you, I like things even. So the next paradise is going to go right in the center. But once all this starts growing, it's not going to matter that they're centered or not centered because it's going to be just this mass of plants growing all together and spilling over. Gorgeous. Got another sweet potato vine. It's going to go in right beside that paradise. And then the last paradise. Whew. This has got some roots on it. If you've never used the Vista series of petunias and you're looking to have just a massive carpet of color, then you really are missing out. You really need to get some of these great petunias because there's just nothing that rivals them. Now, down in my pot, I have basically just placed the plants on top of the soil, so I need to go back in and make sure that all the roots are covered in soil and that they're nice and happy. So we're going to do that next. I think we have got all the roots covered. Jimmy made a hot mess over here. That's all right. I always say it's not gardening until you get dirty. Oh, but they're gonna be happy because they're nice and full. Now, so you've got your soil in there. And again, I tell you this, especially for us in the southern climates, one of the big key factors in helping to have a great successful container is I really like to top dress my container with some mulch. Again, it really helps to hold the moisture in, but it also, one, it makes it look pretty, and then two, it helps keep the roots insulated. So this is a really important step. Again, it is a self-watering container, but there are some just normal standard practices that we need to take care of. So let's get the mulch in there and just top dress it up and then clean up my mess. All right, so we have the soil is in there, the plants are in there, the mulch is in there. Last thing we're gonna do is I stick my tags in there. So we have some of the best customers in the whole world, but bless them, they'll come back to me a year later and they'll be like, hey Jenny, remember that plant I had last year? I'm gonna do that again. And I love y'all to death, but I don't have a clue. I can't remember what everybody planted. So a little gardening tip. Save your tags. You only need one of each plant that you've used, and then stick it in the back of the container. You don't have to make it so it's visible. So that way you will remember exactly the plants that you planted. Now, we're gonna get this thing watered, and it's super, super easy. So Jack thought of everything when he was designing these pots. So let's go grab the hose. All right, so I just have my good old regular garden hose. I love this because when Jack was designing this, the fill tube is the perfect size for the hose just to fit down into. So you just stick your hose down in there, you fill it up until the water comes out your overflow hole in the back. Once that water squirts out the back, you know that the whole reservoir is full of water, so you can stop watering. It is a great idea to just go ahead and set it on your phone, on your calendar, once a week. Fill AquaPot. So you get your hose, you fill it up, water comes out, you're done. So as long as you set it on your calendar, you're not going to forget to do it. So if it's a Sunday afternoon or a Wednesday night, it doesn't matter, as long as you're regularly filling it up so that it never goes dry. So we're just gonna stick it in there, turn it on, and now we wait. This one takes a ton of water. It is, again, the professional series, so that water reservoir is pretty massive. So we're just gonna sit here and let it fill up. Okay, friends. Miss AquaPot here is all filled. She has her gorgeous flowers. She's full of wonderful slow release fertilizer, tons of water in there. So now all she has to do is grow. It will take about maybe 2 or 3 weeks for this all really to fill in and just be a cohesive mass of gorgeousness of leafy leaves and bloomy blooms, but it will be absolutely exquisite. So stay tuned, because we will do updates throughout the summer and show you how well these plants are doing, and I will give you an honest review on how the AquaPots are performing, but I expect nothing less than fantastic perfection. There are tons of different colors of the AquaPots, different sizes, different shapes. We here at Creekside have, I think we have like 5 more pallets of AquaPots coming for our customers. So if you're in the region and you want to get an AquaPot, stay tuned. Follow us on our other social media outlets. That's Creekside Nursery, or even go to our website at gardeningwithcreekside.com, and we will put all the information there, the sizes, the prices, and the colors, because we're going to have lots of beautiful AquaPots coming in at the end of May. So stay tuned for that. But I hope this is giving you some inspiration, even if you don't have an AquaPot, but it's giving you some inspiration for plants and how to plant a container. This was just a lot of fun, and I cannot wait to see how it fills in as the summer goes. Thank you so much for watching Gardening with Creekside. If you don't already subscribe to the channel, please subscribe to the channel so that way you can get notified of other great videos as they come out. Of course, make sure you like this video, and if you have any comments or questions, put them in the comment section below and I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and we will see y'all next time. Bye, guys.